I spun the dial on the fine, focused lens of the microscope, wishing it were as easy to bring clarity to my life as it was to the bacteria wet-mounted on the slide. The bio classroom hummed with conversations happening at a half-dozen lab benches. The clink of slides, the snap of stage clips, the clatter of laptop keys as observations were recorded. These made up the soundtrack of both my favorite part of the day and the best memories of my childhood. "How would you describe this color, Eliza?" My best friend, Merrilee Campbell, pointed to the cluster of gram-positive bacteria we'd stained with crystal, violet, and mordant. "Ink-spilled twilight? Wine-crushed shadows?" "Purple." There was no one in the world I'd rather have as a lab partner, but Mary and I disagreed about the amount of descriptive language I'd tolerate in our reports. I squeezed the bulb on our eyedropper and added a bead of safranine beside the cover slip of a second slide. I watched the capillary action of it draw under the glass to mix with the liquid containing our specimen. My life was supposed to be as simple as this gram staining assignment, one I'd first completed at age 8 under my parents' scrutiny in the laboratory that dominated the first floor of our house. Back in second grade, I'd followed the steps and gotten the correct answer. 8 years later, I still had clear directions, but outcomes felt less certain. Not for this experiment, but for my life. My parents had rules for everything I did: nutrition, sleep, exercise, socializing, studying. They weren't technically around to see if I followed them, but they remotely monitored the data collected by my iLive Life Tracker wristband and recorded in my daily log from wherever they were working. Currently, Amundsen Scott South Pole Research Station. But nowhere in their restrictions and guidelines did they account for the feeling of restlessness that was spreading beneath my skin, like an allergic reaction to my regulated life. Mary grinned and nudged me, pointing to her laptop. "Purple is boring. I already had aubergine. I was checking to see if you were paying attention. You've been fiddling with that slide for 5 minutes. Everything okay?" I forced a nod. The last thing I needed was Dr. Badawi sending an email.